Red Pill Show, Aaron Leeves, freedom fighter. It's coming on now to give you some top information about what's going on with kiddie fiddling. And we might talk about some other stuff too. It's important stuff. There's an outreach coming up soon that you need to be aware of in the great city of London. If you've been keeping up to date, Aaron has had an incident recently in a council meeting in West Suffolk, and we wanted to get him back on to talk about it while it's fresh in his mind. Fresh in your mind has got more evidential value going forward in the future. This was only a couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks ago, wasn't it? What happened, Aaron? What were it all about?
Yeah, it was just coming to a head, really. We'd been for the last year to West Suffolk Council. We'd had a previous private meeting with a certain head of council and his old pal about a few questions we wanted raising, and the worst one was the sexualisation of the children. Something I brought up in that meeting with 5 other of the group that we went to with, about my son being taught masturbation in the classroom. Now, he was also taught about sexual positions also, and it's something I raised to this council and said I wasn't very happy about it. Now, his words were, he seemed to think there was nothing wrong with teaching 4-year-olds and up masturbation in the classroom. There's no better place, his words. Now,
but from 4 years old and up, you're saying?
From 4 years old. We mentioned that 4-year-olds in the new PSHE sexual curriculum under the World Health Organization's rules, they state
personal, social, health, and economic education.
That's right, yeah. And he had been notified that the WHO was pushing this into all the schools in the UK, and he seemed to think there was no issue with 4-year-olds and up being taught masturbation. Now, after pouring my heart out about my poor son having experienced this at the age of 11, I was quite taken aback with his reply also. And it was also a push at asking why the residents of my town weren't given any chance to question the push on net zero emissions agenda 2030 and the climate hoax, as I call it. And he was quite happy to tell us that he didn't need consultation from the townspeople and they were going to push ahead anyway, no matter whether we liked it or not. So anyway, we go along to this council meeting, and with the first instance of my good friend Jeff being told he can't speak on the night, refused permission to speak about the topics we'd raised in this private meeting, he wasn't allowed to go. So in my head, I was going there to bring all these topics up again to the 72 councillors present, unbeknown to this particular head of council, knowing that we were going to say what we said. I come up onto the microphone, said what I needed to say, mentioned it to all the councillors present that he was quite happy for masturbation to be taught to 4-year-olds. Obviously, you can imagine, with a lot of shock and awe from the rest of the room, that he'd accepted this. Also, I bring up the other topics of the vaccine harm and injury that he thought was hilarious. The rest of the councillors there obviously jibing me as I'm speaking about, important topics that concern my community. And I was told to shut up after 5 minutes of my speech, which I continued to carry on.
I thought we were allowed 10 minutes or only 5?
We were only allowed 5 minutes in total. But that includes a reply back from the council. So you have to allow yourself time to ask the question and time for them to answer it within the 5 minutes. Mine was a statement. Went over my 5 minutes allotted time. I continued to speak openly about the sexualisation of children, which they didn't want to speak about. And my good friend Jeff come into the room, stole the microphone, asked them why he'd been refused permission to speak, and they tried to shut us down. So we went straight into the middle of the chamber. We continued our talk about paedophilia, masturbation, sexual teachings in the schools, and they walked out of the room. Every single one of them walked away and rang the police on us and told us to remove ourselves from the building, just because we brought up some uncomfortable topics that they weren't wishing to speak about, basically.
Yeah, well, I saw a video of that meeting, or some of it at least. And if anybody wants to see it, it was recorded, wasn't it? And you can still find it on YouTube. LSB Film Productions.
Yeah.
Lima Sierra Bravo. On YouTube.
Yeah.
And this is West Suffolk. It's an area council meeting, isn't it? It's not a local thing.
It's a local council, but Suffolk County Council is the larger council that's involved with all local areas of Suffolk. But West Suffolk is a local council with permission for local residents to question and query any of these agendas they're pushing through from top government, basically.
Right, so let's just clear up Thetford. Where's Thetford then? Because they've had some progress.
Yeah, Thetford is a lot of my good friends, Jeff including one of them, who lives in the Thetford region. You've got Bob.
So is that West Suffolk?
So that's the Norfolk County Council. So that's just on the outskirts of Suffolk,
Right.
So they've been tackling council meetings, and we've been tackling council meetings with the same guys. We've sort of teamed up and tackled Ipswich, Colchester, all local areas to try and get the councils to understand we're not happy. We're not happy with the local agendas they're pushing.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, they're not local, they're global agendas these local councillors seem to be pushing to me, and without consultation to the local residents and people with children. Family people should know what's going on.
Absolutely.
And decide as parents what is appropriate for their own children.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
I mean, times have changed. Look, the teaching people are... Can I be blunt here? I'm going to be blunt.
Yeah, right, no.
They're trying to teach kiddies out of a wank at 4 years old.
They are. Yep.
And I'd be in my teens before I had my first wank.
And it's something you learn from your own experience. You don't get told how to do it.
I mean, Liam's producing, he's sat in background and he's nodding away. You learn when you're ready to learn.
When you're ready to, because it's a form of grooming.
Forced on you. It's grooming. Yes, grooming.
Yeah, you're right.
It's out of order.
Yeah. It's sickening, isn't it? It's a sickening push on the innocence of a child. I mean,
yes, let them enjoy the childhoods.
Yeah, and we have a moral obligation, don't we, as parents, to protect the innocence of our children, the younger generation. So a teacher teaching a child masturbation has to be stopped. It has to be. We've got to put an end to it.
Indeed, we have. In fact, it's even worse in some parts of Germany at the moment, where they have what they call exploration rooms.
Yeah,
people can look into that if they so wish to, but it's dirty and it's not pleasant research.
I can send you 2 paper clips after this that were sent out by the Daily Mail, I believe, and the Telegraph, talking about the UK schools pushing for children to touch themselves in the lesson. So I can pass you them 2 paper clippings through so people can get a good idea that it is being pushed into the schools in the UK.
Yeah, send them.
And I can send you the WHO. Yeah, WHO.
It's disgusting. Now, I have to say, in defence of some areas and some schools, it does vary. I have a school teacher friend with children, and he is teaching in primary schools. And he has said the PSHE that you have told me about is not what I am understand it as. So it does vary.
It does vary, yeah.
It potentially could build like things do.
Because you look at Kimberly Isherwood and Katie Watkins from Wales, the Mothers Against Sexualisation in the Schooling System. Now, them 2 went against the RSC, which was the same as the PSHE, and the courts threw them out of the courts and pushed that sexualisation for children in Wales to be accepted. And it is happening, as you say. It's a
So
rolling effect.
in Wales, they've,
Yeah.
as I understand it, and you spoke to them, and
Yeah.
I try to keep up to date as much as I can.
Of course.
In Wales, the powers that be have said parents have no rights over your children. We are in charge.
Yeah.
Basically.
That's it, yeah.
That's horrible. And if they get away with it in Wales, they get away with it here, won't they, in England?
Yeah.
Then you've got to look at homeschooling, haven't you? And alternative.
And then that becomes difficult, doesn't it? If you've got like a position I'm in where a wife works night shifts and I work days, you know, we're stuck.
How are you going to earn some money to?
Yeah, can't.
Oh,
not everyone's in the right position to homeschool a child, and which you're right. You're right. Homeschooling is the only way forward, really, when you look at the bigger picture. But it's being stuck in a position where you've got to pay taxes and pay your bills.
It should be the parents' responsibility to teach that. I feel.
Absolutely right. You're right, Liam. There's no other way. The parents should be responsible to teach the child these topics at the right time and the stage of their life. You know, it's uncomfortable even for a parent to bring in a teaching of a child about sex education. I mean, I would feel very awkward about teaching my daughter that at the right age. It's not down to me. I'd rather my wife teach that to my daughter anyway. So for a teacher to think that's acceptable to pull a classroom of children, girls and boys, and teach them masturbation, it's just sickening. It's vulgar. It's disturbing.
It is horrible.
Yeah, really
so
is.
What can we do? You've been forming a shadow council.
Yes.
How do we do that? What can we achieve?
For me, a shadow council goes back to 2020 for me, when I was out in the streets raising awareness with leafleting and outreach. Now, with a shadow council, if the councils do collapse, which we've already heard from Klaus Schwab, he'll infiltrate the cabinets, which is the councils as well as the governments. And that might mean we need a community of good people that will support one another. Now, you're going to need people that can grow food. We've got a farmer in our local area who can produce food, Mark Byford, a great guy on side. He's already set up our shadow council in Bury St Edmunds. We've got guys that are good with mental health, and they're helping people that are struggling after the last 3 years that we've all been through. It's about raising awareness to the local community that if things collapse and fold up on us, we all need to help each other to support one another. And I think with a shadow council, you've got more reason at the moment, while the councils are still there, to tackle local agendas that they're pushing through, i.e. net zero and the climate emergency rubbish, and bring it to the public's eye and say, are you accepting this push on our futures and freedoms? I mean, you know what net zero emissions means. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, they can have you stop from consumption of food, meat eating, stop you from traveling, have you driving electric cars. It's a big push.
They just put a caveat in there because Liam wants me to challenge you occasionally, or any guest.
Absolutely.
A few of those things you said are still up in the air, but they are part of the agenda for, what do they call it, sustainable
development goals.
Yeah, they're all in there.
Yeah.
And they're all maybes.
Yes.
Because we've got to try to keep to facts.
Absolutely, yeah.
Even though I agree with you, and I know what the agendas are, if we're going to do an agenda, we need to focus on that and that point of the agenda. And
we do, yeah.
Yeah. So we've seen Birmingham City Council go bankrupt.
Yes. Yeah.
Rumours are rife that many others will go too. But in the meantime, it's possible that all areas could set up shadow councils.
Absolutely.
And it's got to be considered as a good idea to help people. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen when all the councils fall. Well, if they all fall and say they've no money, I've got questions now. I want to know: do they still have control? They've spent all the money, but do they still retain control, or are they just acting on behalf of the government in London that are acting on behalf of Klaus Schwab and all the other knobs?
Yeah.
Or what? So we do need some kind of network across the country, I think, just to help us all, if it gets any worse, which it will without
finding out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Unfortunately.
And in case we go early with this one, you got deleted.
Yes.
A few of us got together to form a montage.
Yep.
In fact, quite a few. And you put it on other channels, and it was about subjects related to what we've been talking about, was it not?
It was, yeah.
How long did it last before it was taken down from
YouTube? Lasted an hour, 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yep. Rumble, the links that were passed from Rumble to Facebook lasted, I think, more than 2 hours, and then the links were taken down, and I was reported as posting up spam, they called it. Facebook. Spam. Disinformation and spam. So anyone that was to post anything from Rumble had the same notification, spam. Like I say, I put that video together with the intention to raise awareness to the UK and parents in, parents were the ones we were trying to raise awareness to for the sexualisation of children. And as we just said, the PSHE rulings in the school and other topics that involve children. Now, I spent a whole week of dedication to try and bring as many people I could on that video, including yourself and myself. And I look at every single one that took part as kind, compassionate, caring souls that just want the best for our children and the next generation. I didn't see anything that was falsified or wrong by putting in that video. I made sure it was a sentimental type of video. I put some music riffs in there just to make people aware that this is an important subject. It's something that we should all be talking about and raising awareness to. And like I said, I put it together and it was taken down very swiftly. I can't post nothing on Instagram now. They've shut me down on there for posting video content. TikTok, someone put it on there, got taken down within seconds. Twitter deleted it from other people who were posting it on that subject. So we've got them rattled. I don't look at this as a loss. I look at it as a win-win for all of us involved.
I do too.
Yes.
It means we've got them rattled. We're worrying them.
Absolutely.
But I haven't got my head round yet how their algorithms working to identify it. Because if you don't put the text up saying what it's about, then their algorithms must be listening somehow for keywords.
Yes, for keywords.
In which case, we need to be careful with keywords.
Yeah.
But it shows we're making progress. And I think it's a good result. And
it is.
If I can find that montage compilation, I'll share it and take the consequences.
Yeah, great.
And I'm going to come down and see you soon in London.
That'd be awesome.
Many others.
Yeah.
BB's, be careful what I say now, haven't I?
Yeah, because you don't know. It's flagged up, do you?
Right. That building that was...
that building. With a filthy statue.
Yeah, with a filthy statue with a little kiddie on it.
Yeah.
And a man with his arms. And the same building that was splattered very recently with blood red paint.
That's right. We're hearing from a certain network of people. Well, I won't say who because that might be flagged as well, as we know.
Well, I don't know who did it. I've absolutely no idea. In fact, when I first saw it, I thought maybe that is the institution themselves doing it.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
To de-soil
what we're saying.
Yes, and
Absolutely.
so as when people arrive,
They'll push us on.
are peaceful. They've already established
I think you're right. Absolutely. Set up.
That's just what occurred to me
yeah.
in my head, but I
agree.
really don't know. You'd got journalists reporting it on, TV presenter reported it on formerly Twitter, X, we call it now. I don't want to name her, but her initials are VD. And she posted it there and says, I've just turned into work today and look what's happened.
Yeah. See, I look at it like this. I've had a lot of people ask me and question me what we're actually doing on that specific date. And I said, don't look at it as a protest. It's not a protest. It's an outreach. It's to raise awareness. I won't say the name of the place again, but where we're meeting isn't where we are starting. We are meeting there, and we will move along to an area where there's much busier. There's more people that we can tackle with leafleting and speaking and raising. It's a raising awareness day. That's what it's all about. Outreaching to the public, raising awareness. And I want people to understand it's not one of those where you walk around following someone like a leader. It's an outreach, and it's for everyone. No one's telling anyone how to speak, what to do. We all do what we think is right for us and our family. I'm not a leader. I've just brought people together. It's about unity and bringing people together to raise awareness on important topics like the children, obviously.
Yeah, that's great, Aaron. I'm not a leader either.
No.
Leaders get into trouble.
They do.
We like to try and help and advise people, and that's all we can do. And those that don't want to know what's happening will find out later anyway. And
they will.
Too late. Well, thanks very much, Aaron. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Is it now? Week on Saturday.
Just meet us on the 28th of October, 12:30 p.m. The headquarters of, shall we say it? BBC.
It's going to edit this bit out anyway, isn't it?
I think they'll let us say BBC, but BBC headquarters, London. Meet us there for an outreach. And raising awareness.
Yeah.
Cool.
To meet there, I'm sure some people will have stickers.
I've got lots of stickers. I've got 7,000 leaflets. I've got light papers. I've got a megaphone, music. Lots of things.
And then we'll just have a bit of a walk and stuff. And
got yellow boards coming as well. All the yellow board guys.
Yellow boards are coming.
Yeah, the East London boys are bringing all the yellow boards. There'll be about 50, 60 people with yellow boards.
Right. Police will probably turn up too, won't they?
Yeah, well, they'll try and entice, won't they? And try and
entice. That's where we're going to say.
Yeah.
Stay calm.
Keep calm, peaceful. Yep.
And just move along. If they've got to find an excuse and just say thanks for being here to look after us. Oh, we'll keep coming.
Thanks for babysitting us.
Yeah. Stuff like that. Treat them right. Then don't give them any excuse.
No, don't give them any excuses to turn nasty.
Especially nasty folks sometimes.
Well, when they see me mate with her 5-metre banner which says "Save the Children," they can't tackle good, but they've got children themselves.
Yeah.
They've got grandchildren also.
How can they attack you for saving the children?
They can't.
Yeah.
Hope not.
Great.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, mate.
You're welcome. I hope you found that a little bit sickening, a little bit enlightening, but not too sickening to attend the outreach. It's not a protest, it's an outreach. It's all completely peaceful. 28th of October, 12:30, London. Near that propaganda building. The one that posts all the fake news. You know the building I'm referring to. And then we go for a little walk. I'll see you there, citizens.